Welcome everyone. As discussed last week, we're going to make vanilla cupcakes. Now these are a really easy recipe. The kids can make these. They are made in one bowl, ingredients all together, and we don't have to cream the sugar and butter first. Really fast, really easy, a nice texture. So let's get started. As I mentioned last week, have your ingredients at room temperature. That's always going to give a better result. Everything comes together, especially one like this that's going to all go into one bowl, including your milk. Take your milk out a little bit beforehand, pop it in the microwave for a couple of seconds just to bring the temp down, and as I mentioned in my last blog post, if you need to, pop your eggs in a little bit of warm water for a couple of minutes and that will do the job. So everything's ready to go here. The recipe will be on the recipe card on the blog post. I've got a standard 12 cup cupcake tin lined with my liners. I like to use them, the ones that are slightly larger. They sit up out of the tin slightly so they're easy to get out, and there's a little bit more mixture in them as well. So first thing that we're going to do, in your mixing bowl, pop in your plain flour, 1.5 cups, and your sugar. We're going to pop in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Just a little bit of salt. Sugar's always balanced really well with a little bit of salt, so 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to give that a little bit of a whisk inside the bowl. I'm not a fan of sifting unless I absolutely have to, so a little whisk in there to bring all those ingredients together and lighten up the flour mixture. And that's all we need to do with that. Now, next I'm going to put in butter, 130 grams. I've softened that in advance. And I'm just going to pop my eggs into the milk first. We're going to give that a little whisk with a fork. Just bring those together. And we're also going to put a teaspoon of vanilla into those as well. Always vanilla extract. Gives a much nicer flavour than essence. So now I'm just going to pop my bowl onto the mixer. And as that starts to mix, I'm going to pour in the liquid. We're just going to let that come together for a second, and then we're going to put it onto medium mixing speed for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, absolute maximum. You don't want to overmix this mixture. It just wants to change in colour, get a lot lighter and fluffy in texture, double in volume, and you'll be ready to go. So I'm going to turn that up now. Okay, we're just going to scrape the sides down a little bit. Make sure that we haven't got any other ingredients stuck around the outside of the bowl. And once to incorporate those, I'm going to show you the texture and the colour that you're looking for. One last little beat just to bring those ingredients together. And that's it. Any longer than that, and you're going to end up with a tough batter mixture. It's going to bake up quite firm and quite hard when you're biting into it. We want a nice fluffy texture, really nice and light. And I'm just going to show you that colour. And that happens really quickly because all our ingredients are at room temperature and we're popping them all in at the same time. So you don't want to overbeat that and form that really tough batter. Now, a little trick when you're popping your mixture into your tins, ice cream scoop is a lifesaver. This makes everything equally portioned out. You don't have to try and be guessing how much is in each cupcake paper. It's really easy and no mess getting it in and out, and really fast and efficient. So that's the way I always do it. Old-fashioned ice cream scoop. They do put sizes on these now, and this is, I believe, a size 12. But it's a really, quarter cup is approximate size, the actual size of the inside scoop. And we're just going to pop those in now. And as you can see, so fast, so easy to get these portioned up, and no mess, no dripping onto your tin. And you know they're all going to be the same size at the end. Last one goes in. Okay, so there we go. All portioned up nicely. I'm going to pop those in the oven that's been preheating for about 20 minutes. About 165 I think is enough for cupcakes, otherwise they can get too crusty on the top. They're only small and we don't want to overcook those and make them dry. 15 to 18 minutes in the oven at around 165. Check your oven temperature is correct. As I spoke about in the last blog post, if you're not sure, you can buy a little oven thermometer and pop that in there and double check that the inside of your oven is matching what the dials on the outside are doing. It's really important. And I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're back. We've got them baked. They look beautiful. Something that I forgot to tell you when I was portioning up, if you, like me, get to the end and you haven't quite got enough batter to make up your last cupcake, what I often do is, if I definitely need 12, you can get a teaspoon and you can pinch just a little bit out of each cupcake and fill up your last one. If you take half a teaspoon to a teaspoon out of each one, they're not going to mind, and that will make up your extra one. So I just remember, if you get to the end and you need 12 cupcakes, just pinch a little bit out of each one, and that will just make up that little bit extra for your last and your 12th cupcake. So we've got them out of the oven. They're steaming hot still, so I'm going to transfer those out. Always take your cupcakes straight out of the tin. as soon as they're out of the oven. Don't let them sit and cool at all, because they can steam them there, and that can also affect the cupcake papers coming away once they cool down. So take them straight out. Time is 15 to 18 minutes because everyone's ovens are different. So someone may take a little bit longer and others may take a little bit less. So just keep an eye on them. It doesn't take long to overcook cupcakes because they're only tiny. So the way I test generally is just by pressing the top of the cupcake. If it bounces back, if most of them bounce back, that means they're ready to go. You might have one in the center that's not quite cooked yet and it sits in. If all the rest are cooked and you've just got that one that's not quite bouncing back, I would just pull them out anyway. That means that one will probably set up and cook just from the heat, residual heat out of the oven anyway. So that one will be fine. Better than overcooking the whole other 11 cupcakes. So take them out, pop them on a cooling rack, let them cool down. And I'm just going to cut one up here to try and show you the texture of these lovely fluffy cupcakes. They're not hugely browned on the top either. That's okay because you're going to put stuff on the top. You're going to decorate them, you're going to pipe them with buttercream. They don't need to be super browned on the top. I keep my temperature a little bit lower than what other people say to cook theirs because, as I said, they're really easy to overcook. We want them to be lovely and soft and light in the middle. So I'm just going to cut this one down the center, steaming hot still, and see if I can get it close enough to the camera to show you the texture. Really light and fluffy, and that's what we're going for. So just remember, key things would be room temperature ingredients. Everything comes together there nicely, rather than if you've got cold milk, cold butter, or cold eggs. The fat in your batter will set and it will be grainy, and your mixture won't be light and fluffy. The mixture won't emulsify in your bowl well or easily, which may mean that you'll need to overbeat it and result in quite a tough batter. So room temperature, preheat your oven for at least 20 minutes beforehand so it's at the correct temperature when you pop it in, and take them straight out. Once they're ready, let them cool on a wire rack, and they're ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give them a go. This is something that absolutely you can let the kids watch this video and do it along with them and find it really easy. They make a beautiful quality cupcake and they're super simple. So let me know how you go. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.